and sun, really.
And even before when we started shooting, because we
Yeah,
shot
of
in
course,
Joburg,
yeah.
I live in Cape Town, so we moved up there for that.
Yeah,
You know,
so that was
But
Pretty
cool, nice.
cool.
Yes.
You
Yeah, we're
Okay, cool.
doing
Alright,
this
well.
magical thing.
Well, for those who haven't seen A-Team, it's out on DVD. But what can you tell us about what the A-Team get up to in this film?
In the film. Well, this is the origin story, so this is about how the characters met. I'm a huge fan of the original TV show, and so I found it quite interesting to see the filmmakers' take on how these guys got together before they started doing missions and helping people. And the story's, a pretty straightforward idea that they kind of chasing after some bad guys that have stolen some engraving plates. But it's more about watching the different characters, for me, respond to different situations.
And you
Zara,
get... Oh, ready?
We're there, yours.
Okay, so for those who haven't seen it, what
Yes.
do the A-Team get up to in this film?
What do we get up to? We get up to various shenanigans. I get to annoy B.A. Baracus quite a lot, as per the original show. But this is the origin story. This is how the guys met. You learn about where the van comes from. You learn where B.A. got his fear of flying. And lots of things blow up. We make a lot of jokes while things are blowing up. It's pretty fun.
And you get to kind of, in a way, play the most fun character of all, arguably, I guess. But Murdoch,
He's totally the most fun character.
But he's so iconic and quite, crazy. Was it kind of a weird experience to get paid to just be completely crazy on film set?
It was, because I was a real fan of the show and I really loved that original Murdoch character. That character actually had a lot of influence on me as a kid growing up. I used to make little movies and I used to do voices and accents and different characters, very much like Dwight was doing with that Murdoch. So to find myself in a position where I could do that, before I was acting, I used to do voices and things like that with my staff. I would be a character for a week, with different staff in my company. So to find myself getting paid better to play the fool like that than I ever did, running my own companies was pretty awesome.
So not too much of a stretch for you to act a bit crazy then?
No, not really. Yeah.
And I was going to ask you about the accents, because, your accent sounds completely flawless in the film. Is that something that you've kind of, as you said, you've been practicing voices? Does that come naturally to you?
Yeah, I grew up doing a lot. I used to do it a lot more when I was a kid, when I was in school, because I was doing all these things. I could do lots, I used to do little sketches where I'd have like 19 different accents or nationalities, do like a little United Nations conference where each person says his little bit about an issue, and I used to practice and have switch from the one to the other. I can't do that stuff as well as I used to. I better start getting some practice in on that again.
And the film is now out on Blu-ray and DVD. Do you know much about what extras people can expect from the new release?
Yeah, there's actually some really cool stuff on the DVD. There's an extended version of the film, so with a lot of scenes that were cut down. So there's quite a bunch of stuff that wasn't in the original movie. And then there's like a whole bunch of fun stuff that we did behind the scenes. Like one of the pieces with me is like a fun piece that I did where I pretended basically I'd done one movie, District 9, and so now I'm on this movie and I'm like a complete prima donna and I'm just giving everybody a really hard time. Each person, each member of the crew, major areas, the DOP and the costume people or whatever, and just acting, like a typical kind of Hollywood spoiled brat. And so they cut a little piece with that, and there's like there's a whole piece of Rampage Jackson just laughing, which is insane. He had the most infectious laugh. So there's just like this edit of just him laughing in different situations, which is quite unique. I haven't seen that sort of thing on a DVD before, so I think people will enjoy it.
And you seem to be really enjoying acting and being a movie star, but before this you were directing short films and producing. How do you find that balance, and are you preferring being in front of the camera?
I think each one has sort of pros and cons. Acting is, for me, it's a lot of fun. It's an enormous amount of fun. You don't have the same kind of pressure on you in the same way as you do if you behind the camera as a producer or a director. You have pressure in a different way. So I think and the downside of acting is you don't have as much control of the material. You don't have as much influence on what's going on in the script or in the project. So you just, for me, I just try and really switch that filmmaker side of me off when I act, so that you're not being a difficult person to direct. You know, I try and go with the director as much as I can, and keep the kind of creative control and creative fulfillment to projects that I'm driving behind the camera more.
And since you made District 9, I'm guessing your life's pretty much changed quite dramatically. What has been the kind of transition for you, and what's been the highlight? I mean, how in what way has your life changed?
Lots of different ways. I think from a work point of view, it's changed in just the access to people that I have, which I could never have had before. Obviously, that I can I'm working in Hollywood. I'm working with a lot of the best people in the world. I have access to them in a way that I never had, and I feel like I have a support structure with agents and companies that want to work with me, and that I never had either. In South Africa, I felt more like I was working on my own, again, you have to sort of do everything there. So that's been a real blessing, is to feel a lot of support and inspiration of being able to work with really good people. And then personally, just everything becomes more intense, your experiences of everything. I think a lot of what happens is sort of magnifies who you are in a lot of ways. If you have any insecurity in yourself, this job will find that, and it'll magnify it. If you have the things in your nature are just kind of magnified more, for better and worse.
Yeah, and I can imagine living in LA and being kind of in that Hollywood environment must be quite strange. Is it important for you to try and get back to South Africa and sort of get back to reality as much as you can?
Yes, very much, very much. I think I'm fortunate in that this all happened to me at a later age, so I was more formed in myself. I was more comfortable in my own shoes, as it were. And so I won't be as easily pulled into that whole Hollywood world, but it's powerful. It's an alluring, strange beast.
So you're not going to go off the rails in Hollywood then?
No, I mean, what I love about Hollywood is that it is still a place where you can make amazing things, and I think that's really where I'm just trying to stay focused. It's a very inspirational place in that way. It takes people from all over the world and says, if you have some crazy idea and you want to try and make it, and we think people might pay money to go see it, we'll listen to you at least. and at worst we'll listen, and at best we'll give you $200 million to go and make the crazy idea that you wrote down on a piece of paper. It's pretty awesome.
No, it does sound like a crazy place.
Yeah.
I have to ask you, we are approaching the festive season.
Yes.
Are you a Christmassy person? Do you get into the Christmas spirit? And what is a typical Christmas for you?
Well, I'm from South Africa, so the first point of difference for most people is Christmas to me is a summer thing. I normally associate Christmas time with summer, and my family has a holiday house down on a river in South Africa, and literally for most of my early sort of childhood, we used to go down, and it was all my cousins also had houses along the riverbank. So it's more, Christmas for me is water skiing and cutting down your own Christmas tree, and getting sunburnt, and having big meals with my whole extended family, putting on those weird cheesy Christmas hats, pulling the cheap crackers. Actually, we had friends who used to always have better crackers than us. Those things that the Christmas crackers, right? Yeah. You have them. You know what I'm talking about. But you get different ones, and if you get the really expensive ones, you get watches and stuff inside. But we always had the cheaper ones for some reason, and they're always these little horrible little it's a spinning top, And our buddies would come the next day and they'd be like, oh, look at my watch I got in the cracker. I don't know where they got those crackers.
God, I wouldn't mind some of those crackers.
No, it was crazy. They really had cool stuff in them.
And in terms of Christmas, do you have kind of a Christmas disaster story? A turkey getting burnt, or a really awful present that you got?
We sank a boat once. That doesn't count as but it was Christmas, so that if that counts, not actually the turkey. Nothing to do with the food. The food was all fine. But one Christmas Eve, we were coming back in a little dinghy. We had this speed boats and little boats that you're in, and we went out with my cousin, and I think he was drunk or something, and we were coming back on Christmas Eve, and something went wrong, and we sank literally just in front of the house. We could see the house, and the boat just went, and sank, and we were literally swimming home for Christmas. So that was I guess that was disastrous in a way.
It sounds quite fun though.
Yeah,
at the same time.
it was.
Oh, oops, lovely. And New Year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll wait for the door to close. That's it. Are you one for kind of making New Year's resolutions, and do you stick to them when you do make them?
I don't think I'm not really big on New Year's resolutions. I do find it quite a profound time to look at the year that's just passed and the year coming up ahead. But I don't necessarily make a very specific list of things I wanna change. I tend to do stuff like that just generally in my life, but I do find it quite a powerful. I don't drink, so I have a really weird experience on New Year, and I've never drunk. And it's quite amazing to watch, like, because virtually all of my friends do, and virtually, everyone that you spend New Year with does. So I'm always sober as I watch the whole world kind of descend into. So it's quite a special time for me, actually, in a way.
And final sort of end of the year question, movies. Now, what would you say, if you can, has been your sort of favourite film of 2010? You can't say 18.
Okay. I'd probably say Inception was my favourite movie this year. Yeah.
And why was that?
I think it combines a lot of things I like, in that it was original and creative, but it still had a real commercial filmmaking style. And that's what I like. I don't necessarily, a lot of films tend to be, oh, that's really beautiful and it's really well done and it's really original and creative, and no one will go see it because it's not really done in any commercial way in terms of the scale of it, or just the writing and the execution. So I think that's why I was really drawn to it. I enjoyed doing the A-Team because it was something that I grew up with and I just wanted to do, but more naturally for me, I would tend to gravitate not into stuff that's being redone, or rather original material that can compete at the box office is stuff that really gets me excited and inspired.
Great. And finally, what's coming up next for you then in 2011?
I can't say. I'm not allowed to say, but it's so awesome. I love it so much. But it's a really cool movie, yeah.
Oh, great. Well, there's some good enthusiasm there, so I'm looking forward to finding out what that's
Yeah,
about.
I wish I could tell you. I really want to tell you, but I can't.
Oh dear. Okay, well, I'll have to wait then.
Yeah.
That can be my New Year's present then,
There
to
you
find
go.
out what this exciting new project is. And finally, are you okay to do idents? Is that alright?
What is it for?
It's for a show called Entertainment Now, which
Okay.
is the show we make.
Is that
Okay.
what this is going to be on?
Yeah.
Is
Is
that
that okay? I mean, you don't have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just introduce yourself and then say, and you're watching Entertainment Now, and into the camera. If you
Is
could.
this the Entertainment Now that like edits you and makes and does like weird things where they make the comments about the people? I actually
think
like
so.
that Entertainment Now.
That sounds like a better show than what we made.
Is that better than yours?
Yeah, no, I'm joking.
Hi guys, my name's Sharlto Copley, and you're watching Entertainment Now. And I hope I'm entertaining. I'm not very entertaining right now.
Yay.
Cool.